What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Knicks Recap Podcast. I'm your host, Troy, and you could be anywhere in the world this afternoon, but you chose to be here with me, and I really do appreciate that. This episode is presented by FanDuel. And oh my goodness, guys, do we have so many Knicks topics to discuss today. We're going to be talking about this current Knicks team. Can they win it all? We're going to be talking about Mitchell Robinson, his future with the Knicks. Is he going to stay? Is he going to get traded? And of course, we're going to be talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo, and you never know, could he join New York? There's some other topics we're going to be talking about as well, but I was thinking to myself, if I'm going to be discussing all of these topics, I need more insight. So what did I do? I contacted the legend. He is a former New York Knicks beat writer for the New York Post. He covered the Knicks for 23 years. Please help me welcome the legend returns, the always great Marc Berman. Marc, how you doing today? Thank you so much for joining the show.
You're doing great. Quite an introduction. But yeah, it's I still keeping tabs of the Knicks. It's still in my blood after 23 straight seasons. And tonight on national TV, I get and local TV here in Florida, so I get to see them all four quarters.
Well, I can't wait for you to watch that. It should be a good game tonight. And I know your time is limited, but before we get started, I have to say, I do a lot of interviews throughout the season. This is still by far my favorite interview to do at anything that we do thus far. Just want to make sure we're good here. Okay. Sorry, Marc, just making sure the stream is still live over here because I'm having some issues on my end making sure. 1 second. I'm sorry, Marc. Nope. No. Looks like we're good. Okay. Sorry about that. So, Marc, like I was talking about, again, I know your time is limited, but this is one of my favorite interviews to do. You're one of my favorite people to interview. So because your time is limited, let's jump right into it, get started, and talk about all these things Knicks related. So one of the things that we got to talk about is the New York Knicks and their current team, this current version of the Knicks. Now, obviously, we've already seen some differences with this version of the Knicks compared to the last version of the Knicks from last season. One of the main things from last season that we noticed was the Knicks not really utilizing their bench. Well, this season with Mike Brown, they're utilizing their bench. Maybe the numbers don't support it, Marc, but they look like they're playing faster. They're intentionally moving the ball more. But my question to you is, with this version of the Knicks, how do they stack up to last year's team, and can they win it all?
Well, they don't have a better head coach than Mike Brown. I think they took a downgrade there. I hate to go after low-hanging fruit, but you talked about the bench and the deep end of the bench is being paid to be in the game in the final 2 minutes of a blowout. And sure enough, Mike Brown has Jalen Brunson, who has always a danger to get injured the way he plays. So Jalen Brunson, of course, is on the floor with 1:40 left, and now he's out for at least a few games. So that's a black mark on Mike Brown right in the first month of his stint. I think the Knicks are still playing the same lax defense against the three-point line. And like Thibodeau, it's almost the same philosophy. You talk about the difference between Brown and Thibodeau, but they like to pack the paint. Thibodeau loved to pack the paint, prevent shots at the rim, and leave the three-point line not as closely guarded as it should. And I think the Knicks are one of the lowest teams in the league at defending the three. I think they're giving up like 15 threes a game, and Orlando.
They're the second worst.
Second worst.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Orlando absolutely torched them. But listen, they are playing a little faster. There's a little more creativity on the offensive end. Is their bench better? I mean, Clarkson shooting 37% from three. I'd like to see that a little higher, to be honest. I think Bridges is way more confident. I think he's at 45% from three-point land. That's huge. He'll get a lot of open looks all season with Brunson handling the ball. But everyone raved about the off-season signing of that French kid, the French center,
Mohamed Diawara.
Well, no, I'm talking about the Olympic French.
Yabusele. Right.
Yabusele, yeah. And Jordan, and Yabusele has been mediocre to say the least. And Jordan, I'd like to see him shoot the three a little better. I'm also worried. It's all about the playoffs, Troy. I mean, it's all about the playoffs. I want to see Jordan in a big moment. He's been on a lot of bad teams, especially recently in Utah. So can they win it all? Not as presently constructed. Can they get out of the East? I mean, I think it's 50-50. I mean, losses to Chicago, Orlando, Eastern teams like Milwaukee, that's not great. Miami, they even lost to. We'll see if they can make up for it tonight. But
Yeah.
50-50 on winning the East, maybe 60-40 winning the East, winning it all. I mean, I was talking to an executive today. It's like,
Right.
do they have to make a significant move right now to win the East? The way the East is so depleted injury-wise with some top teams,
Right.
maybe not. But to win it all and beat the best team in the West, yeah, they're gonna have to make another move. They're a piece away.
So it's great that we're on this topic, right? We're talking about this season and last season. Now, you spoke about a little bit about the coaching change. So, I have to ask. Tom Thibodeau, he was let go by the Knicks, this past season, and Mike Brown was hired. But I really didn't hear your thoughts, really full thoughts, publicly at least, regarding Tom Thibodeau being fired. So, what do you think about the Knicks firing Tom Thibodeau? Do you think he deserved to be fired?
Well, I think Leon Rose would like to go back in time and reverse it because from what I'm hearing, Jason Kidd was number one on the list. And they figured he'd be able to escape Dallas like he escaped Brooklyn back in the day. Didn't happen. I don't think Mike Brown was in the top 5 on the list as they continued to call other teams to try to get permission to talk to current head coaches like Quinn Snyder. I think that it was predetermined they were going to fire Thibodeau. He was too stubborn for them. They wanted to collaborate with him on minutes and load management. And the biggest quote from Mike Brown to me in preseason, late in preseason, I think he said, "We're not going to be chasing wins this year." And that's all Thibodeau did. And I think that's the philosophical difference why they made the move. They want to be healthy for the playoffs. They don't want to, be putting starters in the game down 16 points with 2 minutes left, which was what happened the other night. But that's the philosophy. Let's not chase wins. Let's have load management. I don't think Thibodeau would have loved the Mitchell Robinson situation right now,
Right.
where they're babying him and it's all about load management. But I think if they knew they couldn't get Kidd, and I think Worldwide West wanted to hire Kidd back during the search 5 years ago, I think Kidd was runner-up to Thibodeau, and I think Worldwide West was leaning toward Kidd, but Leon Rose definitely wanted Tibbs to run the show, and it was a great stint by him. I think he was fired 1 year prematurely.
So you kind of already answered the question, but I do want to ask. Mike Brown, we've seen what he's done over the last 11 games. Your thoughts about Brown? Do you think he was the right person for this job, or do you really feel like they should have went with Jason Kidd?
Well, if Jason Kidd could have gotten out of his contract and Dallas didn't create a big stink, and I think it goes back to the tampering that the NBA ruled happened with Jalen Brunson. I don't think that the Mavericks were going to give an inch to the Knicks. I mean, they were really ticked off at how the Brunson thing happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Jason was number one on the list from what I'm told. And I don't know where Mike Brown was, but I don't think he was even top 3. I think they really wanted a more thorough search and did not. I mean, they're interviewing Micah Nori, who's a very nice assistant coach, but to be the head coach of the Knicks in the biggest media market in the world, a team that is finals or bust, I mean, like, that was ridiculous. But they were desperate, and they interviewed Becky Hammond. But yeah, listen, he's not the worst choice, but I don't think he was a top 3 choice.
That is very interesting. I think a lot of people are going to have some words about that because, there are some people in the fan base right now. Even now, they're going back and forth. Should we have went with Tom Thibodeau? I mean, look what happened with Jalen Brunson. Should we kept him for another year? Or maybe do we just embrace this newness with Mike Brown? So even within the fan base, it's not 100% for Mike Brown or against him. I think people are still waiting around 25 games to understand if he's going to be the coach they all expect him to be.
Yeah, it's tough to gauge. Like on Twitter, I feel that social media outlet seems to be more anti-Thibodeau. But when I'm in the street, even in Florida, and people would talk to me about the Knicks, they'd be, why'd they fire Thibodeau? And I'm not in New York anymore. I don't hear WFAN anymore. So I don't know what the calls were in those days. But
Mm,
I think it was pretty much like, why did they fire him? But Twitter, I don't know, at least my followers, anytime I say a pro Thibodeau tweet,
yeah.
they attack me like I'm the devil.
Twitter's a large place. And there's a lot of different places. And there's sometimes you'll get those. But if you target the right people, I promise you, there's so many Tom Thibodeau supporters out there. I could probably point you out to some of them. But I do want to talk. I do want to talk about something because when I always think about this player, I think about one of our interviews that we had back in the day. I think it was a couple of years ago. You had a relax T-shirt on. And you know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
I wear it almost every day.
So you're still relaxing. See, we got to talk to Mitch and let him know you're taking his advice. We got to talk about Mitchell Robinson. I mean, Mark, one of the major storylines from this offseason was if the Knicks were going to even extend Mitchell Robinson. And obviously, the sides didn't come together. As I heard from Ian Bagley, and I'll pull this up actually for everybody to read, Mitchell Robinson and the New York Knicks did not engage in advanced extension discussions before the season. And there's no sense that Robinson and New York will reach an agreement on an extension before the June 30th deadline. Without the extension, Robinson would become an unrestricted free agent in July. And the reason I'm asking this, Mark, is because I know how Leon Rose operates. We all do. He's not going to let anybody, at least in my opinion, walk for free. Not somebody like Mitchell Robinson. He didn't do that with Julius Randle. I think that I think the goal might be to keep Robinson. But if they know they're not going to be able to extend him, then maybe a trade is looming there. My question to you is, what do you think is going to happen with Robinson? Are they going to extend him, or ultimately, is he going to be traded?
Yeah, it's funny because this might be the one exception where you're trying to win a championship this year. The Eastern Conference, again, is injury riddled. You have a real straight pathway to the finals. Yes, you might not re-sign him, but hey, let's give it everything we got with Mitchell this year. What's the stat? This outscoring team's 34 points
Oh,
per
yeah.
100 possessions when he's on the court. I mean, limited
Yeah.
time. He hasn't played more than 20 minutes. And the load management, he's missed half the games maybe. But he is such a unique piece that few NBA teams have, keeping alive possessions, those offensive rebounds, is what iHeart was doing, a couple of years ago during their big playoff run. And Mitchell has the alley-oop capabilities. Listen, the way his frame is as a 7-footer, he's prone to these foot injuries. He's obviously got a chronic ankle issue. But so at the deadline, Troy, I mean, like, who is going to offer? If you're going to trade for Mitchell, you're a contender to try to add a piece for now. So why would the Knicks take draft picks? Like, unless, I mean, you take draft picks so you could maybe trade for Giannis, but I don't know. It's such a vexing question. Do you just say, let's get Mitchell one more year and try to win the championship and break the curse and hold on to him? Because we're not going to get enough for him because of his injury history. I just don't see a big offer where they're going to get back a player that could really help them this season. And it's all about this season.
Right.
It's all about this season and next season. So honestly, if a gun to my head, I say they keep him. And they're going to do the load management thing. And hopefully come playoff time, he could be full bore or, not full bore 30 minutes, but 23 minutes a night, get a bunch of offensive rebounds to keep, because the Knicks aren't a great 3-point shooting team. They need rebounders on the offensive glass.
Yes, they do.
So I just think he's this special case where, we may lose him for free, but we may win a championship too if we have a Mitchell Robinson healthy in the playoffs and he's playing like he can, like the Minnesota game, which was like just incredible to watch him dominate the Minnesota on the glass.
That's the reason why Mitchell Robinson is so polarizing, because you love him when he's on the floor, But then when he's not there or he's dealing with an injury, you always think back to, well, this is what I have to deal with before I can get that type of impact. I do agree with you as well. I think that it's so hard to gauge his value. And that's the thing with trades. If you're going to trade somebody, you need to understand somebody's value. What is his value? His injury status goes up and down. He's on load management. What could you possibly get for Robinson that would make sense to trade him? I don't think a trade like that is going to exist at the deadline. So it's likely. Yeah, go ahead.
The only thing I can think of is a 3-team trade with Giannis, with Mitchell involved. And,
right.
Unfortunately, Bridges would probably have to be involved, and he's playing a lot better, in my opinion, than last season. I think he was nervous last season. He obviously didn't like Thibodeau. I think he feels very comfortable with Mike Brown. I'm telling you, that catch and shoot three-pointer for Bridges, it's because, Josh Hart is just an erratic three-point shooter. They need Bridges to drain that. OG is pretty consistent. And when Bridges is shooting 45% from three, I mean, that's huge.
Especially from the corners. I mean, the Knicks are one of the best corner shooting threes this season, especially with him and OG Anunoby, who I know had an off night the other night, but usually he comes to play.
Yeah.
While we're in this trade scenario here, I have to talk about it for all of our listeners or watchers who are watching the stream right now who have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to Giannis. Please let me enlighten you really quickly when it comes to Giannis Antetokounmpo and what I'm talking about here. So with Giannis, Shams Charania has stated that New York emerged as the only team Giannis Antetokounmpo desired outside of Milwaukee in the offseason. That's again what sources told ESPN. And the Knicks and the Bucks engaged in talks for a window of time. That window was apparently 2 weeks, a 2-week period where the Knicks knew Giannis wanted to play here. So did the Bucks. Conversations were happening. Offers were made, and it was not finalized. But the Knicks apparently, Mark, had their shot. So I'm just going to throw it to you. The Giannis Antetokounmpo situation. It was obviously real. I have a lot of different reports on it. What have you heard about that situation, and what is the reality of it? Is Giannis really, at some point in time, going to join the Knicks?
I don't think it's going to be this season. It was depressing to watch the Knicks face the Bucks and see the Bucks play so well, and that kid Rollins, the point guard, looks like a real deal. And if Giannis sees some pieces around him emerging, I mean, they're over 500. Giannis is hurt with a knee right now, but the guy's averaging 32 points. He's leading the league in scoring, over 30 points per game. He's even shooting 50% from three-point land. I know he only takes 2 a game, and his free throw shooting is back up to 63%, which is not what it was when he faced the Nets in those playoffs when he couldn't hit a free throw.
Right.
He's at the prime. He's playing as good as he's ever played. I mean, this knee injury right now a little scary, but if you can make the deal, I know. Here's the thing with Towns. He has wonderful numbers, but in the playoffs, and it's only about the playoffs, if he has one really horrible game in a playoff series, it could cost him the series, and it did against Indiana. He had one hellacious game. Sometimes he withdraws from a contest, and he doesn't make an impact. And I saw him do that in a Minnesota Game 7 in the second half. I remember being very concerned to see Towns so uninvolved in a Game 7 loss. So it's all about the playoffs. And Giannis has won a championship. Giannis is never going to back down. He's never going to back away. Every single playoff game, he's going to be terrific. And I don't know about Towns. I think he could have, 5 of 7 very good games, but those 2 games that he's not good, well, that's going to kill the Knicks. So, yeah, if you could do a deal centered around Towns and, I hate to see Bridges go, but Giannis is so remarkable that if you want to win a championship, I think you have to do it. I don't think this team could beat the West. There's 4 teams in the West that could beat the Knicks. I think the Knicks might be the best team in the East because of the injury situation with other teams.
Right.
But in the Western Conference, I don't see the Knicks beating Oklahoma City. I mean, even Minnesota. This Denver, I mean, I think they have to make the Giannis move if they want an NBA championship, and that's what everything should be about. When you fire Thibodeau, it means you're saying, I don't think we could win the championship with him, so we're going to have to bring in someone else. And I think that's someone else better than Mike Brown is Giannis.
If Giannis comes to New York, we used to talk about, remember the Zion conversations we used to have, how Adam Silver would lose his mind if, that happened. I think if Giannis came to New York, we're already the Knicks are so attractive already, given all the moves they've made. You bring a player like Giannis to the Knicks and what he can do, the power that he brings, it almost changes the dynamic of the NBA in a way. It shifts it. So I completely agree with you. I want that move to happen. My only concern is I know how Leon Rose operates as well. He's not going to gut the team for Giannis. I think it's going to have to be Giannis also requesting out while the New York Knicks pursue him. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think Giannis has to force Milwaukee's hand, and as a result, the package doesn't have to be so sensational.
Right.
As we were talking about Mitchell before, I mean, the only way I see trading Mitchell is if you get a bunch of, 2 first-round picks. I don't know if he's worth that. I doubt he is. But, to build up your draft stock so you can have a package for Giannis. But yeah, listen, Adam Silver would love to see Giannis in New York. Listen, Zion Williamson, he was supposed to be the face of the NBA, and that
Oof.
never happened. And Wemby is he's from Europe, and Jokic is from Europe, and there's so many players. Listen, Giannis is obviously Greek, but I feel he's more in an American type in that sense. I feel like people in America really identify 100% with Giannis as an American icon.
I think that when it comes to basketball, you can't speak about it without speaking about Giannis and his greatness because he's still one of the best players in the NBA. So as long as that's part of the conversation, I think him being part of the Knicks in any capacity is always going to be something important. This is going to be my last question for you, Mark, because I know you have to go. So it's really about Jalen Brunson. And I know he's out right now with a grade 1 ankle sprain. Hopefully he's back within 2 weeks. We all hope and pray. But he's been playing different basketball, but he's also thriving in the new role as well. More off ball. He's not taking as many shots. He still does the ISO at times, but more when the Knicks don't have anything and he has to force some action. But he normally now is moving the ball. Now I think he's 15th in the league in terms of assists, right behind SGA at 6.5 a game. So he is moving the ball more. What do you think about this version of Jalen Brunson? Is it the best version of Jalen Brunson we've ever seen right now under Mike Brown?
Well, I mean, I think that's why Mike Brown was hired partly. Rick Brunson has a lot to say, unfortunately. And, I don't know how much it's been reported, and it probably has, but Rick wasn't the most loyal person to Tom in the end. And I think Rick thinks that Mike Brown could really help Jalen being off the ball more. And I do think that, I was talking to someone, a scout today, and they said that Mike Brown's like really experimenting a lot of things right now. He's trying different rotations, different looks to see what he wants to do late in the season. And he's definitely experimenting with different things with Jalen, and it's working. I like it. I'm just worried about Jalen's health. He's on the floor half the time. I know sometimes he goes to the floor on his own
Right.
to try to draw the foul.
Right.
But I mean, as stocky as he is, he's a small guy and he gets knocked to the floor a lot, and he's got some ankle issues. I mean, past ankle issues. Last year, he missed 15, 16 games.
Same ankle.
Yeah, with the same ankle in last March.
Yep.
So I'm worried about his health also, more than his style of play. He's drawing fouls. The referees are still giving him the ticky-tack calls. He still drops to the ground, and they still give him the foul, even though it looks like he popped. So things are still looking up for Brunson. He's getting great respect from the referees. He's got every move in the world.
Yeah.
And Brunson, Brown is giving him a different look to be off the ball, and he's still moving the ball. And I think it's working out very well. It will be interesting now with Brunson out to see what the Knicks look like. I love Miles McBride.
Yeah.
He's not a playmaker though. And he's improved his 3-point shot and a great defender, but it's going to be interesting to see how they operate. I know they were over 500 without him last season, without Jalen.
I think we were 9-6, if I'm not mistaken. They went. Yeah.
Which is very good considering how great Brunson is. But Miles McBride will be the key during this sequence, and big answers on this road trip coming up. I know. It's like 5 games straight on the road. I know one of them is against the G League team in Brooklyn, but still, it will be interesting to see how they fare in Miami, how they do in the rematch versus Orlando. They got Dallas. So it's going to be very interesting. A lot of answers on this road trip. They haven't been great away from the Garden.
Do you guys all understand now who's watching why I call him a legend? I hope you guys understand why. The insight, always on point, great information. Can't get it without Marc Berman. Thank you so much, Marc. I know you have to go. I just want to say again, whenever you come on this show, it's not only the insight that we get, it's the personality, the love, and the comments, by the way. They all talk about you, how good you look, how slim you look. Like I told you before, retirement suits you. It loves you.
Yeah, I'm enjoying Florida for sure, but still following the Knicks too much. I feel I should back away, but I can't help myself. But thanks so much for the kind words, Troy. I always enjoy speaking with you, and you ask the great questions. And the show is fantastic.
I appreciate it, Marc. Thank you so much again for joining the show. Next time when we get you on, I hope it's about more conversations about the Knicks. Maybe we talk about Giannis eventually coming to New York. We'll see what happens. But Marc, thank you so much. Talk to you next time, all right?
Take care, Troy. Thanks so much.
Of course. All right, guys, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna get my my whole stream back on. Just give me 1 second here to. I'll let you guys look at the Mike Brown thing as I do that. So just give me a second to kind of pull everything back. Where are we? There we go. That should work. There we go. All right. Am I back? I'm back, right? Okay, good. All right. And that was the interview between myself and NBA Insider Marc Berman. Like I said, I told you guys I was coming back hot. I was coming back with these interviews, and I'm not done yet. Next Friday, I got another interview coming, and I can't tell you who that's going to be. It's another special guest. I can't wait for you guys to see who it is, and I'm going to try to do this every single week with a new, different guest talking about all these different things Knicks related. Sometimes it'll be a different content creator. Sometimes it'll be an NBA insider. Sometimes you never know who it'll be. That's why you have to tune in and check it out. But I really appreciate every single one of you guys jumping in today, watching the stream, watching the show. There's a couple of things I do want to talk about, or at least one thing I want to talk about before I end the stream today. I wanted to speak about it for a while, but I didn't know really how to talk about it or when to talk about it because it's difficult when you're covering so many things as I normally do. But since I have the time to do it now, I think I will. And then I'll go to the chat to get your comments and see what you guys thought about the show. If you have anything to say as well, I'll capture those comments too. You just got to give me a second to pull the chat up. But for now, what I want to talk about, Jalen Brunson is out. We all know that. Now that he's out, Mike Brown has to make a decision. Which way does he want to go? How does he want to handle this roster? And what I mean by that is, how does he want to proceed without Jalen Brunson? Is it a Deuce starting? Is it Mikal Bridges starting with Josh Hart coming in, and then you keep your bench unit the same, more or less, with Deuce and Clarkson? You see, there's a lot of options that Mike Brown can go with, but I think the most obvious option, and probably the most likely, is going to be Deuce McBride starting in place of Jalen Brunson. And at least according to the New York Post, it seems exactly that's the direction the Knicks are going to head into. As we can see, the New York Post states here, this can go in a few different ways. It does not seem likely that Brown will just thrust Kolek into a starting role. That leaves Miles McBride as the most natural fit. Though more of a combo guard, McBride is capable of taking over the bulk of the ball handling duties. Brown has wanted to keep Josh Hart with the second unit this year, but when Brunson has been on the bench, Hart, along with McBride and not Kolek, usually took over most of the ball handling responsibilities. Hart is more than capable of bringing the ball up the floor at times and certainly has experience as a starter. So at least with the New York Post, they seem to think that Josh Hart could just go right back into being a starter. But if you guys remember the Josh Hart video that I covered about a couple of weeks ago, Josh Hart stated that he wanted consistency in his role. So maybe he could return to being a starter. But does he want to do that when he's been doing so well off the bench? I'm not saying it's been perfect, but some games he does do well, some games he doesn't do well. I think it's the easiest thing in the world to just replace Brunson with Kolek, because then nothing changes. Your bench stays the same. Your starting lineup more or less stays the same. The only switch is Kolek. And Kolek right now is not getting any burn. So he's not affecting your bench unit or anything. He's just an additional player. And we know how Mike Brown likes to operate with Landry Shamet. Isn't Shamet playing more or less spot minutes? He plays when Josh Hart is not effective and when Mitchell Robinson is not in the game, or if Mitchell Robinson can't start. So that way you still get more of a 5-out without having to affect your bench by putting Deuce inside the starting lineup. That's what I've seen Mike Brown do. And if he still wants to do that, then why not just play Kolek? I'm not saying Kolek is perfect. He has his issues. He's not going to be great on defense. We all understand that. There are issues there. But when you put him with better players, he becomes a better player. I don't know how else to explain it. When you see him play on the floor, when you put him around talented players, he himself will start to play along with those guys. He just learns that type of offense quickly. That's what traditional point guards do. That's what he is. And that's why, in my opinion, the Knicks should start Kolek and not Deuce McBride. But if I was a betting man, if you guys are betting on this too, it would be Deuce McBride. I mean, the defense is there. Combo guard, yes. His assist numbers are up. I feel like he's done a better job of, passing the ball, moving the ball, but getting others involved. I don't think he was as good at it last year. Maybe nobody asked him to. But this season, he seems to be more deliberate in his passing, so I like that. I don't mind him starting, but then you got to think about the bench anyways. Who's going to come off the bench as your backup point guard? I still think in some realm, some reality here, Tyler Kolek needs to get minutes, at least spot minutes. Give him 10, 15 minutes at that. We need somebody else off the bench who can help move the ball. Kolek, what does he do best? Play make, move the ball. It sounds perfect, especially for New York, who needs to pass the ball more. We need to move the ball more. Was the loss against Orlando not good enough? Do we not understand that if we pass the ball 20 times or less, we're going to lose? We need to pass more. So hopefully we can do that. Guys, I'm going to leave you with this graphic real quick as I get the chat going, because I know you guys want to see the chat and speak. So give me one quick second as I load up the chat so we can have a conversation. I promise you it won't take me too long. But before I even do that, let me just close that, as that's not going to make sense. Just give me 1 second, guys. I got to make sure everything is working the way I need it to. Oh, come on with this. This is ridiculous. It's making me sign in, guys. Give me a second. Oh, my goodness. What are you doing here? I don't know what is going on here, guys. I apologize, man. It's just making me do random things at this point. Give me a second. Can you just log me in, man? This is so crazy. You never think you're going to run into tech issues until you start going through YouTube and figuring out that everything is not the way it's supposed to look like. So, just odd altogether. Give me a second, guys. I apologize. Just never know what happens sometimes with these things. 1 second. Oh, come on, man. Okay. I can't believe this is taking so long. You got to be kidding me. Just to chat to people, you're going to make me take this long? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. All right, whatever. I'm just going to wait for it to load. Once it finishes loading, we'll go back and we'll talk to the chat. This is unreal. Every time I want to do something just very simple. YouTube. Come on, man. Let me check it again. See if it's good. Oh, come on, man. This is poor. YouTube really has to step it up. I don't have that much time left. I want to talk to you guys. Give me a second, man. This has got to be the worst thing that I have seen in so long. Okay. Can I talk to the people now? Are you going to let me talk to them? Or are you going to still continue to give me problems here? All right. It's loading. It's loading. So I assume it's going to show up there eventually. It's going to show up there eventually. I hope. If you're using Gotham app, by the way, I promise you, man, it's going to be a problem for you too. Gotham is horrible, man. I can't even tell you. I try to use my cable app more than I use Gotham. I can't even tell me why Gotham, right? Tell me why when I'm on Gotham, I can't even load anything properly. It tells me to sign in 50 times. I mean, what's going on? But I appreciate you guys coming in. Paul, he says, it's okay, Troy, we're patient. Thank you, man. I appreciate all you guys. I can't see my YouTube numbers today because for some reason, my stream part, it's broken. I have no idea why. I wish I could fix it, but I have to fix it after the stream, so I didn't want to end it to do it. If you guys have any more questions, I have no problem, talking to you guys about any questions that you have, anything that you want to say or things that you want to, talk about the game maybe, or any questions you have about Berman, what he had to say. I'm all open. I'm going to keep this open for about maybe 15 minutes, right? Just to get more questions if you have. And then afterwards, we're going to end the show. I will be editing this, so don't worry if you missed the live stream. I'm going to be editing the version of it that's going to go out. Probably going to go out tomorrow. And then I'm going to do a couple of other edits for the rest of the weekend. So you guys have a lot of content coming. Don't you worry. Let's see here. What do we got going here? Let's see. Okay, so we got, Carl says, I would start Clarkson only because I want another scorer in the starting lineup, and averaged around 18 points per game as a starter. You see, the problem, though, is if you start Jordan Clarkson, then what do you do about the bench unit? Because you still need a bench unit. You still need to have somebody score off the bench. If you're replacing that, who you replace the scoring with? You got to have to think about that, So this is kind of what it is. It's still not loading this chat. You guys are still not getting loaded? Oh, come on, man. I swear, man. YouTube just hates it. YouTube just hates when I talk to you guys because apparently every time I try to talk to you guys, it gives me this white screen. Look at this. I'm going to read your comments on the side here, man. Missed the show, but I know the edits will be fire. Good job as always, Troy. Hey, no problem, man. That's why I do the edits in the first place, because I know not everybody's going to be available to watch it live, although the live stream is there if you want to see it, so you have the ability to watch anything live. Ty Good says, would love Devo back. I would give up Clarkson. I don't know if the thing is, I don't know if you're going to get Devo back just with Clarkson. You're going to need a lot more. And I don't think that the Minnesota Timberwolves are really going to even want to do anything about it. Minnesota has no reason to trade that man right now. They want to keep him. So I think that's likely what's going to happen. Tonight you're talking about, if you're talking about, if you're saying the Knicks will do good, if you're talking about tonight, I believe that they can do good, but it will depend on, what's going to happen with their defense. The 3-point defense is going to define this game tonight. If they don't play 3-point defense, they're going to lose. They're going to get blown out. They're going to get blown out by the Heat if they don't play 3-point defense. The way that team runs, they gun, they move. You don't play 3-point defense against the Heat, you're going to get blown out. B Smooth says, also, the talks about breaking up the team over the first few games of the season is insane. I don't hear any other team going through this much as the Knicks. I don't understand that. And I think it's because the fan base doesn't understand how to react when you're supposed to win every game, or that's the assumption anyways. Here's the thing. Even if you're supposed to win every game or you want to win every game, it doesn't mean that you will. It doesn't mean that you can. But you're going to try your best to win that game. But it doesn't mean that you destroy everything you're trying to build in the process. You have to make the right decisions. You have to do the right things. And I believe this Knicks team is going to take some time. You can't crash out over 11 games. First of all, we need 25 games before we can really even make an honest assessment about the team. So we should wait. Let's wait a little bit. Carl Knight says this should be a big Cat game tonight, especially with Bam being out. We always say Cat should be dominant in certain games, but I don't necessarily see him take that mantle. Now, maybe he will with Jalen Brunson being out because we need somebody to really be that showstopper, somebody who can stop the entire defense, draw them, so that way other players can get involved. I don't know who that player is going to be. I hope it's Karl Anthony Towns. But when Jalen Brunson was out last season, I think it was OG Anunoby who was the one going off. And if I'm looking at the way I'm looking at things now, Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, I expect them to have sensational years. So, sensational seasons, especially right now with Jalen Brunson being out. So definitely expect that. If there's not any more, we got one more question from Rob here. Give me a second. Go to Rob's question. Do you think that the Knicks are taking too many threes? They are taking too many threes, but that's the modern NBA. And I don't mind the threes that they take as long as they're wide open threes. If it's threes created by ball movement and they're wide open, take them. I don't mind it. The ones I mind are the ones that they're forcing, or they're slightly contested, or they're very much contested and we're forcing the shot. I don't like that. The thing I don't like about the Knicks, though, is not the way they shoot the three. It's the way they defend the three, because they don't. They're the second worst team in the league at defending the three. How do you win a championship like that? You can't. You're going to be OKC not defending the three, the Nuggets not defending the three. You can't beat them if you don't defend the three. Let's see here. D. Ross says start Kolek. I mean, that's what I would do. That's what I've been saying. But whatever. Do you? Amin says trade for a backup point guard and power forward. They can't do it now. You'd be talking about the trade deadline, and even at that point, who they're going to trade. We just went through it with Marc Berman. He doesn't see the Knicks trading Mitchell Robinson because what's his value? What are you going to get back for Mitchell Robinson? There's no idea of what his value could possibly be. None. Zero. What do you get from him? A first-round pick, 2 first-round picks, 2 seconds? No idea. How many players do you get? What type of players do you get? No idea. That's why he's not going to be traded. This might be the only player New York cannot trade, has to retain, and then see what happens during free agency, because you can't trade him. Who wants him? And even if somebody wants him, you're not going to get fair value back, and you kind of need him for the championship run. So I think Mitchell Robinson has the Knicks in a hard place here because they can't move. They have to keep him, in my opinion. If there's not any other comments, I think we're going to end it for today. Yeah, I think we'll end it for today, guys. So first of all, let me just close everything out real quick so I get a smoother stream here. Okay. So just closing things out, guys. First of all, thank you so much for joining the stream today, watching the interview between myself and Marc Berman, the great Marc Berman, the legend. Whether you love him or you hate him, one thing you have to admit, he is an NBA insider. He has the facts, he has the insight, and a lot of times when I do this, I do it so I can provide my insight while you hear the insight from the NBA insiders as well. But like I said before, this is not going to be the only show that we do. Next week, Friday at 11 a.m., we are doing another special live stream, and I'm going to have another special guest. And this man, if you watch the Knicks and you follow social media heavily, you know who I'm going to be having on my show. I'm not going to reveal it, but if you follow me on social media, you will see probably on Monday or Tuesday when I make that announcement live. So definitely follow me if you're not doing that already. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. I thank you so much for tuning in. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, I don't know what you're doing. Hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get the 40,000 subscribers, and your support means everything. If you enjoy daily Knicks content like this, then you got to hit that subscribe button. But until next time, Knicks fans, please make sure you take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love. And I'll catch you guys on the other side.